What is up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're unboxing the quarter scale Ironman Mark IV and the suit up Gantry by HotToys. It has been 5 years since the quarter scale Mark III was released, and this year we finally got this brand new Mark IV. With the Gantry, the size of this one is ridiculously big. And among the 5 quarter scale Ironmans HotToys have made, this one has the best inner armor design by far. With this size, it's like you're playing an action statue instead of an action figure. The Iron Man suits, up until the first Avenger film, they all had a heavy and armored feel. Starting from Iron Man 3, the design of the suits became more like clothing. Even though the last suit, Mark 85, was able to against Thanos physically, but still, I believe that many people, myself included, still prefer the traditional Iron Man suits like this Mark IV. Firstly, let's talk about the packaging of the toy. It came with a brown shipper, and since mine is the combo edition, the box size is huge, roughly the size of a quarter scale statue's packaging. The overall weight is around 10 kilograms. The shipping fee will hurt a bit more this time than other HotToys products. The box features an official image of the toy on the cover, and the text covered in yellow tells that this is the combo edition. To open the box, you need to do so from the right hand side. Once opened, you will find a cool cardboard on top, and below that, there's a layer of foam padding. The packaging is divided into 4 layers. The topmost layer contains the main body of the toy, additional head and hands. The second and third layer contains the Gantry arms. The fourth layer includes the Gantry base and a set of snacks. Let's take a look at the main body of the figure. The main body stands at a height of 49 centimeters and weighs 1,620 grams, which is roughly the weight of 2 1/6 scale diecast Ironmans. The height and weight are quite consistent with the previous releases. Although the 1/4 scale Ironmans doesn't have metal limbs like the 1/6, HotToys has still used metal to reinforce some of the key joints, primarily in the green areas that you see now. The metallic red paint finish is also consistent with other quarter scale Iron Man figures, featuring a slightly matte texture rather than a high glossy finish like the 1/6. The Mark IV's body structure follows the traditional Iron Man design, featuring shoulder extension joints, double jointed elbow and knees, and segmented waist joints. On the surface of the body and the mask, there's a lot of weathering and battle damage effects. The randomness in the size and shapes of these weathering details are very nice. There are larger ones, such as this one on the thigh, as well as smaller ones chip around the edge of the arm armor, giving the figure a battle-worn and realistic appearance. This figure came with 2 heads, one with Tony's face sculpt and one with light-up function. The mask has 2 versions as well, one with a normal appearance and one with a battle-damaged appearance. The normal mask has some minor damages, while the battle-damaged one has more serious worn-offs. The helmet with lights also have more damage points, and the one with Tony's face just has a little bit less. The only downside I find with this figure is Tony's face sculpt. It is the same one that HotToys used for the Mark III, both in terms of appearance and the blot shape and position. Additionally, the head sculpt for the Mark III is same as the one on Mark 42, so which means currently among the quarter scale Ironmans, there are only 2 different Tony Stark head sculpts, the one with Mark 43 and this one. The disassembled armors are the biggest selling point of the Mark IV. It's a bit unfortunate that HotToys didn't give us the head that is not covered in helmet. Hopefully in the future releases, like the Mark VI, HotToys will include a head without helmet as a makeup for this Mark IV. The design of the helmet is same as the 1/6 scale versions. The helmet with light include magnetic mask and top component. The top part is where the battery is installed. And once you insert the battery and turn on the switch, the helmet lights up. The other helmet, only the mask is removable. And compared to the one with lights, this one has some additional inner details, like these parts around the forehead. The paintwork has a realistic metallic texture as well. Both masks share the same internal structure, and the design is same as Mark III's. The transparent lenses in the eye allow for light to pass through, while other features like the gears, nose, and the golden section above are well carved and painted. In terms of body proportions, when compared to the authentic life-size prop, the figure does an excellent job of replicating the proportions accurately. The overall appearance looks very good. Let's take a closer look at the articulated armor on this Mark IV. First, let me show you the fully articulated armor in an open configuration. The Mark III was fantastic in this aspect, but the Mark IV has further improved the articulation and internal mechanisms. One of the biggest enhancements is the increase in the number of articulated armors. For instance, just on the forearms, there are these small missiles. There are a total of 8 on each arm. To open them, you can simply press the base with your fingers and the missile bay will flip up. This missile comes in different sizes, and when you open all 16 of them, it looks super cool. In addition to the small missiles, the second configuration for the forearms include these larger missiles, which are hidden on the outer side of the forearms. To access them, you need to open this piece of armor, slide the missile bay upward, open the cap, and lift here to reveal the light spot, and that's it. And right here there's a groove allowing the wrist to bend down at a 90-degree angle, making the missile firing pose look more natural. I think this is a fantastic feature. The 1/6 Ironmans don't have this design. The shoulder cannons have also been upgraded to 4 this time. First, there's this tall one that you can simply push upward to open. The second one is positioned further out and requires lifting the spoiler before pushing the piece of armor backward to reveal the shoulder cannon. Finally, push the armor piece connected to the spoiler forward to complete the entire process. The most impressive part of this entire action is when you push the armor backward, it gives the appearance of an open armor, a feature completely absent in the 1/6 versions. Visually, this is just awesome. In the 1/6 versions, both the shoulder cannons and forearm missiles used a magnetic attachment design, and they look just as good. However, in terms of fun, the quarter scale version is at a different level. All these articulated armor with hidden weapons, this design is hard for any fan to resist. The shoulder armor has a joint allows it to extend outward, and is connected with a ball joint that can rotate 360 degrees. The outer piece can also slide up and down. The chest armor follows the traditional magnetic attachment style and can be removed. The internal details is a new look tool with 3 major colors: gold, silver, and black. The arc reactor is highly detailed, and the honeycomb pattern in the center and these 8 surrounding small details are all well made. The golden armor of the bicep is magnetic and can be disassembled, and there are also details of the internal structure of the armor. The ribs have 2 movable parts on each side and 2 articulated points at the bottom, which can be stretched in an outward direction. There are 3 pieces of spoiler on each side. After opening, the details of the inner layer of the spoiler are also restored. The details of the inner structure of the back are more complex than other positions. I especially like this part that looks like a filter. The skirt armor can be opened outwards to help the legs move, and this time the armor on the butt can also be moved up slightly to improve the legs' mobility. The jammers can be opened as well, just grab it and pull it out with your hand. The gold painting details of the warheads are also very good. The movable armor on the lower leg isn't as extensive as Mark III's, only this part can be opened. This piece can be detached because the battery compartment is below. Inside, you can see the internal structure, which has been nicely detailed. However, it would be even better if the color could be more diverse. The movable armor on the feet includes of these 3 pieces. Main function is still helping the feet to stand firmly. Now let's take a look at the figure's light-up features. One of the major attractions of the quarter-scale Ironmans is that in addition to the traditional light-up areas like the eyes, chest, and hands, they also feature light-up effects in areas such as the ribs and legs, similar to what we see in the movies. The Mark IV's light-up areas include the eyes, upper chest, reactor, and hands, with white lights. Other areas include the ribs, shoulders, forearms, and the back, with blue lights. When the lights are on, it looks just fantastic. And combined with the open armor look, it takes the figure to another level. In addition to the helmet mentioned earlier, the battery compartments and switches for the upper body lighting are located under the armor piece on the back. For the arms, the battery compartment and switches are under the triceps. And for the legs, they're under this armor piece. I have to say, it does take some time and patience to install batteries for a quarter-scale Ironman. About the hands, besides the default fists come with the figure, there are additional hands that include repulsor firing hands and articulated hands. The articulated hands have a special feature. The armor on the top can be pulled backward and then raised upward. Judging by the slot, it seems like it's designed for the upcoming Mark VI. So right now the question is, will the Mark VI be available for pre-order this year? About the accessories, this time we only get a set of 3 snacks, a donut, a packaging box, and a coffee cup. Since the scale is larger, the details on these things are even better than the 1/6 scales. For example, the donut now has some colored candy details on top, and the opening of the coffee cup is more finely detailed. However, if you use these accessories, it's a bit funny that Tony Stark looking all serious with a bloody face and still trying to eat. Also, because there is no bare head, the sunglasses that all previous versions of Mark IV had is absent this time. The regular version includes a display stand, but the combo version does not. In terms of articulation, the neck connection is still designed with a ball joint and articulation at the base. The head can be tilted up to about 40 degrees and can rotate 360 degrees. The arms have stretching joints at the bottom, allowing for 20 degrees of inward movement. With the shoulder armor's articulation, the arms can be raised to about 90 degrees, and they can rotate 360. There is also a rotation joint at the upper arm, allowing for 360-degree rotation, and the lower arm can bend to about 110 degrees. The wrist joint allows for a downward movement of 90 degrees and about 30 degrees of movement in other directions. The waist has a stretching joint, which, when extended, allows for forward and backward tilting of about 40 degrees, and rotation of about 45 degrees. The thighs have ball joints at the bottom. You can pull them for extension as well. And from this golden armor, it can be pulled down just a bit more as well. The legs can achieve a front kick about 90 degrees and a side kick about 70 degrees. The upper thighs can rotate about 40 degrees and the lower legs can bend about 110 degrees. The feet have double ball joints. The forefoot is independent, and the range of motion for raising and lowering the entire forefoot is quite good. The feet can also do some lateral movements, although it may be slightly bothered by the surrounding armors. And it's quite easy to pose the figure in this Ironman landing pose. Okay, so that was the review of the Mark IV. Now let's take a look at the suit-up Gantry. The size of this thing is ridiculous. I will put down the dimensions of the complete setup to give you an idea of how much space you will need to place it in your collection. The entire gantry is made of plastic, but the silver paint on the arms have a very convincing metallic texture, and the yellow parts have realistic rust-like paint. The make for the mechanical parts, including these holes and bolts, is very well made. To begin the installation, you need first to take out the base and then attach the magnetic surface patterns. The surface patterns are the same as the 1/6 scale 1.0 version, featuring a double-sided patterns. One side has dark colors with numbers and lines, while the other side resembles a white ground surface. You can simply place the side you prefer facing up. The platform has multiple movable joints. To expand it, you need to first lift the parts on the left and right side at the back. The supporting of these two parts have 3 joints that allow for making angle adjustments, but they don't have rotation functions. These supports are made of plastic, so be careful when you move them. Next, push these 4 pieces outward. When pushed open, these 4 pieces have a slight upward tilting ability. HotToys has added slots on the edges, so if you don't want to expand it, the platform surface remains nice and flat. A very important thing to note is that there is a hidden connection between the large and small pieces, so the outward pulling and tilting of these 2 parts will happen together. Also, the small piece can only be extended up to here. When I was testing the maximum extension capability, I accidentally put it out from the slot, and it took me 30 minutes to figure out the issue. Additionally, I strongly recommend not tilting the platform too much. The tilting angle is supported by the 4 yellow things below, and because the complex structure beneath the platform and the need for adjustment between the 2 pieces, mishandling can easily result in broken parts, especially for new players. Once you have extended the platform, the next step is to attach these 4 small arms. These arms are the same and there's no front or back sides. Each arm has 5 joints and a hydraulic tube in the middle. However, the hydraulic tube do not move in conjunction with the articulated joints. There are also 2 soft rubber tubes on each side. Next, you need to install the 2 medium-sized arms that are responsible for the chest and back. These pieces have 8 articulation joints, and the hydraulic tube here is linked to the joints. There are magnets in this position. The chest armor can be connected to it. Next up is this large arm responsible for the helmet. Before attaching it to the platform, you need to connect it to this base. The base itself does not have any articulation. The 3 largest joints at the bottom are gear joints. And the mechanical hand on the top has rotating function. The fingers can also be opened. The lower arm on this piece has multiple joints as well. Both hydraulic tubes on this piece are linked to the movement. But since there's no bare head included, this accessory does not serve the purpose of holding the helmet. It would have been a game changer if this Mark IV came with a bare head and a fully opened helmet. Lastly, there are 2 large arms on either side. First, attach the arms to the base, and then connect the base to the platform. The articulation of the silver joints is good. And the middle joint can also be moved. However, because it's connected to 3 hydraulic tubes, I don't recommend moving this part too often. This part can be rotated to change the angle, and there is a stretching capability at the back. Other areas such as the small fingers and the hydraulic tubes here are not movable. To turn on the lights on the platform, there are two methods. The first method is to use batteries, which requires 3 AAA batteries. The second method is to use a Type-C cable. After turning on the lights, the appearance of the gantry is even better. These two biggest arms, like the platform, have lighting functions. You need to connect the wire to the socket on the platform. Overall, this quarter scale Mark IV impresses me in different aspects, from the external design to the highly articulated internal components. Plus the gantry, it is as stunning as a statue. It can be seen as a fusion of the strength of action figures and collectible statues. Ironman fans and 1/4 scale collectors will find this figure a must-have. The only regret might be the absence of a Tony Stark head sculpt. And I gotta tell you, playing this one, it can be quite a workout. Alright, there you have it, the quarter scale Ironman Mark IV by HotToys. I hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.